So this is the real reason why life insurance agents go broke and do not make money as life insurance agents in the insurance industry. This is the real no BS fluff. Okay, it's not because the lead flow, it's not because they don't know what they're doing, it's because this. These are the 4 core metrics that you need to track as a life insurance agent. So if you have any hope at staying alive in this business, please watch this video. I wish I saw it when I got first started. I lost thousands of dollars in chargebacks. I had nobody telling me this stuff, and if I could watch this video back, this would have saved me thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, okay? Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Peter Roberts. I am the owner of Legacy Family Life. We have a life insurance agency where we've been in business for about 14 months. We've sold over $2.8 million in final expense premiums, and we pay salaries, we pay marketing costs, we have to make the business operate, we have to generate cash flow, and without these 4 numbers that I'm going to give you, we cannot sustain our team, we cannot sustain our resources. And I want to share with you guys, please, this is the real reason why agents do not make money. So stop watching all the other fluff out there. Let me guys give you some real metrics, what it takes to actually run a life insurance business, especially we sell final expense. So let's jump into the real stuff, okay? The first reason that people do not make money is because they don't track these numbers. And the first number that I want to give you is what's called your placement rate, okay? I interview people that were in life insurance companies, and they say, Peter, you know, I sold $500,000 of final expense premiums, but my bank account is not growing. I say, what is your placement rate? I don't know what that means. Well, this is the number one reason why you don't know how to make money as a life insurance agent. Okay, you guys see this stuff on the internet. I made $500,000 of life insurance agents as an agency, 500,000 AP, and they come and they're broke. Okay, so I'm giving you guys the real stuff. I'm so fired up about this because I need you to understand how to make money. First one is your placement rate. What this means is that when you sell a life insurance policy with Miss Betty, she sets her policy to start on the 1st of next month. When the 1st of next month arrives, the money comes out of her bank account and it goes to the insurance company and the policy places, okay? Meaning that you actually made money, okay? Because you only get paid when the policies actually go in force or go issued. But so many people, what they'll do is they'll sell a life insurance policy, push it out 3, 4, 5 weeks, and when that date comes, they never had the money come out of their account. They don't have the money. They don't, they cancel the policy and you never got paid. But here's the kicker. You posted it on the leaderboard and you're on someone's YouTube channel right now flexing because you think you made money. You didn't, okay? So you need to have an 80% or above placement rate to actually want to consider yourself being able to generate enough cash flow to sustain yourself, okay? For me, I had a 30 to 40% placement rate when I first got started as a 3-letter IMO, and I wondered why my bank account was growing because I was selling a lot of business on paper, but only 30% was actually going in force, meaning that I was losing 70% of my business. How is that a good idea? It's not, okay? So you need to track your placement rate because you need to have a high enough placement rate because everything in this business is based off your 30-day cash, okay? Especially if you're operating an agency or especially if you're operating a team, you need to pay for marketing. You need to pay for, benefits. You need to pay for, little like plugins, apps, software. You need to pay for phone time, CRM time, chargeback, whatever it is. You need the money. So you got to make sure that your business actually places because if it doesn't place, you are going to be in a really bad position. You need oxygen and cash. And the way that you get that is by having a high placement rate, okay? The second core metric that you're not tracking that you must have if you're a life insurance agent, you have to have a good understanding what your closing rate is on the leads that you generate. If I generate 500 leads and I sell 10 policies, my closing rate is absolutely terrible, meaning that my cost of acquisition is going to rise. Then I'm going to have to spend a lot more money than a typical agent would to have to make a sale. Terrible. But if you give yourself 100 leads a week and you sell 10 deals out of those 100 leads, you now know that you have a 10% closing rate. So to survive in the industry, to have success, if you have a 2% or a 1% closing rate, you need to fix your closing rate. You can have a great placement rate, but if none of your business, you don't know how to sell, you're not going to be sustainable, you're not going to be able to generate cash flow, you're not going to be able to generate sales. So what is your closing rate? How many leads are you taking per week? And how many are you closing? 10% or better is phenomenal based off the lead source. Now, if I'm saying I have a 10%, if I have a 10% closing rate off of a TV lead, which is something I'm paying $60 or $100 for, and I'm closing at 10%, not good. But if I have a 10% closing rate off of a Facebook lead, which is generated at a cheaper cost to keep my acquisition costs down, that's phenomenal. But if I'm paying $100 a lead and it takes me $100 leads to close 10% of them, and it's not going to work. So you got to understand where your lead flow is at, and also what your close rate is to determine your customer acquisition costs to make sure that's low enough so that you can continue to afford to spend money on marketing, to continue to afford to make money as an agent, because you're not just dumping leads into different systems. I would do this. I would go, this lead vendor, $1,000, this lead vendor, $1,000, this lead vendor, another $500, and then by the end of the week, I'm like 3,000 deep. I made 15 sales, but I'm like, how much did I actually spend to acquire a client? And that's not what you want. And I didn't even know what my closing rate is. So first thing is placement rate. Make sure it's 80% above. Make sure you have a high enough closing rate. If you don't know what this is, that's why you're probably not making money off of how many leads you're taking. Third thing you need to understand is your mix of business. Okay, these are all foreign words to me at first. Your mix of business is really important. If you sold all guaranteed issue business, if I went and spent $1,000 on leads and I sold 10 policies that are all guaranteed issue, meaning that there's a 2-year waiting period, the amount of cash that I'm going to receive from the insurance company is going to be completely different than the amount of cash that I'd receive from a simplified issue product. So if you right now are a life insurance agent and you're selling a lot of guaranteed issue business because you don't have access to other carriers, you don't have access to other products in the market that will actually fit with people's health conditions, you are going to struggle to generate more cash, because I will beat you if you are selling only guaranteed issue, because I'm going to receive more money up front from the insurance companies than you are. Okay, no matter our contract rates. But if you're at 100% comp selling only guaranteed issue, and I'm at 100% comp selling simplified issue, I'm going to get 25% more typically cash than you're going to receive in your first 30 days. That means Peter can go out there and actually generate more leads, spend more money on systems, put more money in the bank account, and reinvest and help have a higher nest egg for chargebacks, because I have more cash that was paid for me by the insurance company. So what you are selling is really important. If you are limited with your carriers, I have one simplified issue and one guaranteed issue, and they have one health condition that your clients are continuing to bring to you over and over, and you can't get them day one coverage because you can't get simplified issue products, then you're not going to have a healthy mix of business. A healthy mix of business is you want 80 to 20%. 80% simplified, 20% guaranteed issue. You're going to get a mix of guaranteed issue. But if you're doing opposites, let's say 20% simplified, 80% guaranteed issue, the amount of cash that you're going to bring in for yourself is going to be terrible, and you're going to run out of money, okay? Especially if you're spending a lot of money on leads. So if you are making a lot of sales, let's say you have a 10% closing rate off of, let's say, Facebook leads, but all your sales are guaranteed issue, you will not stay afloat because of the amount of cash that you're probably generating off of those guaranteed issue policies based off of your mix of business, okay? Fourth thing that you have to focus on is your average premiums, okay? So what is your average premium? People don't know what this is. You have to track this stuff, guys. Your average premiums are crucial for how much money you're bringing in, especially if you're spending money on leads, especially if you're spending money on a CRM, especially if you're spending money on a dialer, especially if you're spending money on text platforms, especially if you're spending money on email campaigns, especially if you're spending money on everything. Running an insurance company, being an independent agent it's very, very expensive, and it's hard. But the one thing that will teach you to win in this industry, that will make you not go broke, is having high enough premiums. If your premiums sit at $500 or less, you are going to be in a really tough position, okay? If your premiums sit at $700, we did this before, not a good position. If your premiums are $900 to $1,000, that's the range that you want to focus on, because you need to sell expensive things, relatively expensive things, to get more money from the insurance companies to keep you alive. If you do not survive, you cannot do your mission. You cannot help people. You cannot serve people. And the way that you can stay alive longer than most people is charge more for the same exact thing that they're doing. And the way that you can do this is that you can increase your average premiums by having a better script. Pitch higher. Don't sell $30 policies. Don't sell $20 policies. Don't sell $40 policies. Set yourself up where you're pitching higher. 60, 70, 100. And if you can control what your average premium is in that $900 to $1,000 range or above, the higher the premium, the more money that you will make that will allow you to survive as a life insurance agent. Okay? So you have to look at these numbers. And you have to see, what are you doing? Where are you going wrong in your business? And why aren't you making money? And probably this is the answer. You're probably not having a high placement rate. You're selling a lot of business. The business has fallen off before they make their payments, so you're not actually getting the money from the insurance company, placement rate. Secondly, your closing rate sucks, or it's too high, or it's too low because you're buying so many leads, you're closing a lot of policies, but your actual closing rate's only 3 to 5%, and you're spending too much money on leads, driving your cost of acquisition way too high, not sustainable. You look cool on the leaderboards, but you're actually not making money. Not cool. Third is the mix of business. If you are selling bad products, like for example, all guaranteed issue, all modified issue, graded products every single time, you're not going to receive enough cash flow typically from the insurance companies to keep you alive, and you're going to go broke. The fourth thing is your average premiums. If you're selling low premiums, and happens when you're new because you're scared to make sales, especially if you're just getting started, you're going to sell like, oh, I'll take 20 bucks, I'll take 30 bucks, whatever it is. No. When you're selling final expense, 60, 70, 80 is the baseline that you need to have, and then above that to keep you alive. So this is the real reason that people don't make money. Okay, I'm tired of seeing the stories, and make this video, I'll stop ranting after this, is because I've had 2 people that came to me and were like, man, I was at these 3-letter IMOs, I'm making sales, I don't know what's going on, I'm spending so much money on leads, I'm getting the highest contract I could ever get in the industry, and I look at my bank account and I'm broke. And to these people, I'd ask them, does this make sense now? What is your placement? You probably don't know. If you don't know, fix it. What is your closing rate? You know, how many leads are you selling? How many buying? And what are you selling? And what is your mix of business? What is your average premiums? So if you guys track this is the real stuff, the non-fluff that actually helps you make money. I promise you, this is what we do to actually stay alive in what's called our model, that we have to pay for salaries. It's so hard in this industry. Tired, even just for myself, I'm ranting to myself. You have to do this stuff to stay alive. The longer that you can survive in this industry, the higher the likelihood you can actually win. The goal is not to win the game now, it's to stay alive longer than most people, because most people cannot sustain 3, 6, 7, 8 months, and they're gone. They drop like flies. So use this video, help you guys, love you, and I really just want to give you guys the meat and the juice to actually help you make money as an agent. Cheers.